Adam has arrived.
Hey, Maurice and Odie gonna take over like Zach and Cody. Black and Nerdy is the best podcast. Gonna boom like Wile E. Coyote. Gonna meet magic, they move like they hairy. Ain't talking about mental health, no, it's not scary. You know that she coming up with the astrology. Mo got a comic and that's the best policy. Maurice the goat, talking about animation cause you know. Odie, she moving wavy like the boat. Watching some movies and she taking notes. Yeah, kick back, listen. Black and Nerdy have risen. Upload on a mission. 5 stars, never dissing. Black and Nerdy, ooh. Black and Nerdy, yeah. Black and Nerdy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Black and Nerdy podcast, the only podcast where two black sexy nerds get together and shoot the shit. I am Mo, aka Kid Licorish.
And I'm Odie.
And together we are the aforementioned nerds here for episode 117 of the Black and Nerdy podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Well, you literally just got back not too long ago.
Yes, after a arduous journey back to New York,
Yes.
I am here.
A little bit of backstory. You were supposed to get back yesterday, but
Yeah.
flight got canceled.
Because the storm Debbie was coming through. Now, this is the thing. I know that I don't know if it's considered a tropical storm or a hurricane, but it started in Florida.
I don't think I feel like it would have to be more powerful to be a hurricane.
Well, I think it might have been a hurricane when it was in Florida, because when I looked up, when I was looking up what the storm was that was causing any of the flight delays, like a day or two before I left, I saw that it had started, hit land in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Several people died, so it definitely was. There was like flooding,
Yeah,
bad rain.
there
so
was
it
definitely
was
strength to it.
but as it goes up the coast, it loses power. However, for whatever reason, yesterday, my flight was at 3:13 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
The day before, I had been at my mom's, and she was like, "Oh, I was hearing about some airlines who were canceling flights." Check. JetBlue checked, no issue. It was fine. The next day, I would say around 10:30 a.m., I saw that, okay, it's delayed. Fine. Then it was like, it kept going delayed. Went from 10 minutes to 30 minutes to back to 10 minutes, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then literally I'm in the Uber pulling up to the airport and it says it's canceled.
Damn.
So then I'm frustrated. I mean, thank goodness my sister only lives about 15-20 minutes from the airport, so I would be able to get
Really?
back.
I thought there was like 10.
Probably no more than 15 minutes. It's pretty quick. So I was like, well, let me wait here so I can talk to the help desk, see when I'm gonna get rebooked, because they kept saying, oh, we're gonna message you, but I wasn't seeing any messages. So I just waited. People were crying and having tantrums because all of the flights to New York
got canceled.
Like from New York, Boston, all canceled. So they were going to put me on an 8:25 flight this morning, but I was like, no, because one, you already know I hate getting flights early in the morning because it's stressful. And then two, I was like, if there's a storm that's so bad that it's canceling flights, it's very possible that my flight in the morning can be either delayed or canceled. And I'm not waking up at the crack of dawn to come in for there possibly to be shenanigans. So I just got the same flight that I had yesterday for today, same time. It did thankfully go. We were about an hour, 45 minutes delayed. But that was fine. Thankfully, we got out there. I think we got off the ground around like 5:15 or so. And I'm back here. So it was good. Now I will say, even though I was delayed at the airport for about an hour and a half, I did get some really delicious wings.
You got to eat some delicious wings at the airport?
Yes.
So how would you? Okay, we don't have the greatest amount of time, but I did want to ask, like, how would you compare the airport food at in Raleigh versus the airport food in New York? Because New York leaves a lot to be desired, from the
Because LaGuardia,
expensive ass beers to the shitty fucking sandwich that we had that was really small but cost like $30.
LaGuardia, you already know I don't like LaGuardia Airport because I feel like, one, even though they've done this whole new BBL on the airport,
yes.
Which, side note, this woman had the most obvious BBL.
Mhm.
I was about to board or waiting to board, and I see her. And it looked like 2 like rhombuses in her pants. I mean, she had a man in her arm, so obviously he loves it. She loves it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, people, if you're gonna get it, there's nothing. You want to do a BBL, you want to get your body done, great. But just get it done so that it looks good on you. You don't have to get the Buffy the Body booty. Not when it doesn't match your body.
I miss Buffy the Body.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Whatever happened? Oh no, she's doing lifestyle stuff.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, not that lifestyle, but just like
lifestyle content.
General culture stuff.
Good for you, Buffy. Now, Buffy, was she a porn star or just a video vixen?
Just a video vixen.
Okay.
Just a video vixen and a magazine vixen.
Okay.
She never did any porn.
Always beautiful girl.
Very beautiful woman.
But like her body was naturally her body. I just miss the days.
Was it actually natural?
I mean, listen, if it wasn't natural, wouldn't know.
I don't know if it was natural.
If it wasn't natural, you would not know. And I don't know if like are people chime in, folks. If you have your body done, are you doing it in
the hopes that you know? Do you want people to know that you got your body done?
Yeah, or is
like
it just
from far away?
Is it like are you seeing a picture of somebody and you're like, oh, I want to look like that? Or are you just like, oh, I just want to enhance certain parts? Because it's honestly, it's very interesting for me to see. And I'm like, the one thing that I found out about getting your body done is you gotta like keep doing it. I knew for breast implants.
Yeah, it's just like with your LASIK. You're like you gotta get it, you gotta get it redone. It's not just a one and done thing.
That you have to get it redone for LASIK, and I'm like, I'm not going to keep going under the laser for you to fix my eyes. Like,
that's why it made like when I talked to my dad, who shout out to him, shout out to my father. When he recently got LASIK, like relatively recently, and he was explaining that he's gonna have to get it done like again in 4 years. It makes sense the way that he explained it because he's now at the age where like it just makes sense. He's older, you know, like if you're getting it young and then you keep having to re-up every 4 years.
I feel like eventually there'll be diminishing returns.
Yeah, exactly. So for him,
if you're older, you're older person.
I don't want to necessarily be grim about it, but you have less time to need to re-up.
Because this is the thing. He's in his 60s.
Yes.
He's probably got maybe about 10 to 15 years of good eyesight. Because usually by the time you get to your 80s, your eyesight starts going anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not have to wear glasses for the next, 2 decades? Just chill, and it's like, whatever. But for me, like, I'm 35. I'm not about to keep going back and back and back. And do you remember the thing that made me never want to get LASIK was that Simpsons episode? And I don't remember what number or what season it was. But Bart has some sort of situation where either he's dreaming or in a coma or something, and he goes like into the future. And was it Flanders, the one that was super religious?
Yes, Flanders.
And he's like, he's like blind, and he's like, oh yeah, what they don't tell you about LASIK is after 10 years you go blind. And the way that The Simpsons has always been very prophetic.
Yeah, like, The Simpsons does predict a lot of things.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to, like, even what's her name, Kathy Griffin. I remember this was maybe when we were in college. She had gotten LASIK, and you think like she's a celebrity, she has money, she went to a very well-known doctor, fucked up her eyes.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, like
it's a laser going into your corneas and moving shit around. No, thank you.
Doctors is just a career, and no offense, but like I have rallied against doctors in this prestige that we label on all doctors. Yeah. Not every doctor was a straight A fucking student. There are mediocre doctors out there. Yeah. Like there are just run of the mill, and there's nothing wrong with like everybody's not an AAA student when it comes to like their job. And you know what I mean? Like nobody. No, it doesn't mean that you're bad at your job. It just means that there are plenty of just average ass doctors out there. Some of y'all got shaky hands. Some of y'all got shaky hands, shaky teeth, like yeah, y'all got shaky all sorts of things. So like I just personally don't understand like the prestige that we put on them because it's just a job, and there are a lot of people who are good at their job, bad at their job, and
middle
run
of the road.
middle of the road.
And there's just certain things where I'm like, if I don't need it, I'm not gonna go out of my way just to get this thing. Like I'll get contacts if I don't want to wear my glasses. Although now something I saw this week about contacts, FYI, PSA, this woman went blind in one of her eyes because she took a shower with her contacts in.
Yeah, I told you about how like my contact
got stuck behind.
Yeah.
That like the thing is for me, I like.
But to be fair, I was sleeping in my contacts. I had not taken my contacts out for months, and I was and I was suffocating my eyes. Yeah, no, because they weren't getting oxygen. So by the time the contact came out, like it burnt to open my eyes, like because like any sort of bright light and stuff, and I had to wander my dumb ass all the way to the eye doctor.
Is that why you don't wear contacts now?
That is part of the reason, because like I have been known to sleep with my glasses on.
Yes.
I just can't be like, it's a lot easier to take my glasses off than to take contacts out. I can't be trusted with that nightly ritual of taking shit off my face.
That's why I like wearing the like 1 day contacts. Because the thing is with the contacts, they used to try to tell you, oh, you just wear the regular ones for 2 weeks, whatever, take them out. But you can wear them for longer than that as long as you're keeping them clean. But with the one a days or whatever, I feel like one, I don't feel bad about just taking them out and throwing them out, and two, like you could just get them in and out of your eyes fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And it's like you're not stressed out about it. But I've definitely had to learn over the years to have really good care when it comes to contacts, which is why I don't wear them often. Like if I'm doing something where like I want to wear makeup, and like you can still see my makeup when I have glasses on, but if I'm doing something where I'm like, oh, I want to wear like a really cute eyeshadow or lashes or whatever, and lashes like they brush up against your glasses, which is annoying. But you gotta be careful.
Lashes, they brush up against your glasses.
But yeah, you gotta be careful. So don't fuck with your eyes.
Don't fuck with your eyes.
Don't fuck with your ears.
Don't fuck with your ears.
Don't fuck with your body unnecessarily.
Don't fuck with your eyes and ears and mouth and toes. Don't fuck with your head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
None of them.
And nose.
Yes.
Is what I forgot to say.
Kata loves that song.
What? Head, shoulders, knees, and toes? Oh.
That and BINGO. Yep, singing to me.
Bingo. Oh, that's sweet. All right. Shall we take a quick moment to do a little bit of remembrance?
Yes.
To celebrate the lives of a couple people who have joined the ancestors with our RIP section.
So Erica Ash, she passed away at 46, extremely young. She had a battle with cancer, and I'm not sure who Erica Ash is. She was in The Real Husbands of Hollywood.
Did you never see Real Husbands of Hollywood?
Yeah, remember I was watching that show. Yeah. She was on that. And she played
and Survivor's Remorse too.
Yes. She played Kevin Hart's ex-wife in the TV show. She was really fun, really cute, like a great actress. I actually met her some years ago. One of my friends, Polana, was interviewing her, and she just was very sweet. Her mother, Diane Ash, put out a statement. We are deeply saddened to announce the passing of our beloved daughter, sister, and friend, Erica Chantel Ash. After a long, courageous battle with cancer, she transitioned peacefully, surrounded by her loved ones. She said Erica was an amazing woman and talented entertainer who touched countless lives with her sharp wit, humor, and genuine zest for life. Her memory will live eternally in our hearts. In honor of Erica's memory, the family asks that any donations be made to the Susan G. Corman Cancer Foundation or the Breast Cancer Foundation of your choice. We are grateful for the kind expressions of love and support during this difficult time. When I found out about this, actually, sometime last week, initially several BET had posted it up. Several different people I follow on Twitter had posted it and then deleted it because they were saying they weren't sure. Could have been,
it hadn't been confirmed.
Which happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does happen from time to time.
And so I was really hoping it wasn't true, because she was so young. I mean, only 46. I mean, that's barely, she had so much more time to be on this earth. And I just remember seeing her in so many things. She was in Scary Movie 5. She was in the Big Gay Sketch Show on Logo. And she had there was one of the really funny scenes. What was that in Key and Peele?
No, it was Mad TV.
Mad TV.
Yeah.
That she had with what's his name? Peele?
Keegan-Michael Key.
Keegan-Michael Key. So she just was really, really a great actress. I was, hoping that we would have gotten to see, more of her over the years, but we send our love to her family and friends and everyone that knew her. As always, fuck cancer.
Yes, fuck cancer.
Because it really, it just takes people away from us that deserve to be here and keeps the people who don't. And so we thank you, Erica, for all the laughs and all that you brought to us and to media.
I used to watch Survivor's Remorse.
I never watched it. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was on like Stars, I think. Like, and I didn't have access to Stars. It was it Stars or no? It was Stars.
Showtime or Stars?
It was either Showtime or Stars.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was Stars. But yeah, you will be missed. Rest in power. Just for the record, this is Erica Ashe at the Golden Globe Foundation. This is Connie Chiume.
Connie Chiume, she was a South African actress, and you might know her from Black Panther. And Black Panther Wakanda Forever. She passed away this past week at 72. She was a South African actress, and her family put out a statement that says the Chiume family regrets to inform you of the passing of the internationally acclaimed award-winning actress Connie Chiume. The family asks for privacy during this difficult period, and they will communicate further details. So she started acting in the 70s, in 77, where she started in a musical called Sola Sola. And she continued to have, a robust career in South Africa. Then, of course, making her way into a breakout role into the States in Wakanda and Wakanda Forever. And she was one of the elder statesmen. And beautiful, beautiful older woman. And it was lovely to see someone being able to have their career continuing throughout later in their life. And we know Black Panther gave us several older Black celebrities who were getting their just desserts of being able to be in a beautiful film that was showcasing, the power and the beauty of Black people. So she will definitely be missed, but she does leave a long legacy of great work. So, go find her movies, stream them, and we just thank you for all that you did. And, we are sending our love to her family and friends and all those who knew her.
Now we are moving from that to shenanigans, because shenanigans is always going to be
they make the world go round.
Yes, with pop topics.
When you want a hot meal without a big deal, what are you gonna pick?
Pop topics. All right, where do you want to start?
Well, okay, I think we should get the big shenanigans out of the way. So the first thing I wanted to talk about this week was NABJ. Otherwise known as the National Association of Black Journalists. I am a member. I've been a member since college, and
I actually didn't know that.
Really?
No, I didn't know that you were a member.
Yeah,
like you pay dues and shit.
Now I haven't paid dues in a few years, but and not for any reason outside of just having other things to pay for. But I'm still a member, so get the emails. Last time I went to the conference that they have every year was, I think, in 2016 or 2017. But since then, different things have happened, pandemic, etc. So I haven't been. But I joined in college. It was one of the organizations that helped me get various internships. Like when I did the internship at the New York Times, that was an NABJ project. That was for HBCU students. Those are an NABJ, and an HJ because it bolsters journalists from historically marginalized.
HJ?
NAHJ, the National Association of Hispanic Journalists. And
there's
also
okay.
AAJA, which is the Asian Association of Journalists. So just
Okay.
there's various groups that work to create more diversity, equity, and inclusion in media. So it started in, I believe it was the 70s. Black journalists started this group to create a space for Black journalists to learn, grow, be empowered, supported, etc. I have always had a lot of respect for NABJ, and I've enjoyed the conferences. Like the conference is basically it's like usually 3 to 4 days, usually like Wednesday to Sunday.
So is it like a networking event, or is it like
it's networking? Catching up with old friends. They have a huge job fair. So it's a place where young, old journalists, people in media can come together to, reconnect, kind of like a homecoming,
okay, yeah,
network, job hunt, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Lots of opportunity.
Sure. And I'm sure that at these conferences, they have very illustrious speakers.
Of course, every year there's somebody that comes, whether they're in media or outside of media. There's usually
print journalism,
TV journalism are the main ones. They have in the past been kind of criticized for not opening up NABJ more to those who are in like new forms of media, like podcasting, blogs, etc., like that. However, it's still
in this case, Twitter. Well, not Twitter anymore because not just because they rebranded X. I refuse to call them that. But isn't there like a new social media for MAGA people?
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called though.
Like fucking freedom.
It's called like social truth or
social freedom, like some bullshit. Who knows?
However, one thing about NABJ is whenever there's an election cycle, they will invite presidential candidates. I believe in the past, Obama has spoke, George W. Bush. Biden may or may not have spoken or been invited, but it's something where they invite folks.
They invite
to come and talk
people
with
in
Black
politics.
Yes.
Sure.
And so now this year, they did their usual inviting, but it came as a surprise because on Monday night around 9 p.m., there was emails came out and a Twitter post came out that the former president, Donald J. Trump, was going to be participating in a conversation with journalists at NABJ on the opening day in Chicago on Wednesday, July 31st. And so it was Trump with journalists Rachel Scott from ABC News, Harris Faulkner from Fox News, and Kadia Goba from Semaphore.
Yeah, this is it. For those who are watching on the recording, this is what it looks like.
And so it honestly, this was one of those, you have days in Twitter where you're like, this is a fantastic day. Not because it's actually good news, but the way that it like just riles people up. And this was one of those days, because the thing about it is NABJ, they put out this alert and said like he's coming, and Twitter went up, like specifically like my Twitter, because obviously I have a lot of journalists on my Twitter. I have NABJ. I follow them. I follow the president, the people on the board, etc. And everyone was just really confused because it's not unusual for NABJ to invite presidential candidates. They've actually invited Trump 2 other times, and he refused to come. So now it's like, what's going on? Why is this being announced so late in the game? And why is it just Trump? Where's Vice President Kamala, who's also on the ticket? What's going on? NABJ said, it's pending. We're trying to get her there. But then it came out later on that they said she wasn't able to come and someone leaked that they had actually been in talks with her. She asked to do a virtual, video call to speak and have whatever conversation was going to be had, and they declined.
Mm-hmm.
So then everyone was just like, what's going on? Because it's does not seem to make sense. And so let me find her name. One of the co-chairs of NABJ, Tia Mitchell, she came out and said, that basically she was a part of the committee who was saying yes to this. Her name is Tia Mitchell. She said that she was the one that was one of the chairs to say, like, this is going to happen. She tweeted out that it's in line with invitations NABJ has sent to every presidential candidate for decades, which, yes, that's true. However, her response to people asking legitimate questions was met with basically just kind of pettiness, because she tweeted, I helped make this call and it's in line with invitations NABJ has sent to every presidential candidate for decades, but continue to go off on your feed. I'll continue to work to create opportunities for journalists to interview the potential next president.
So she came off as kind of defensive.
Yeah, and then because so initially she was, her Twitter page was open. And then she made it private because there was a whole, firestorm against her. But her response to people who were asking legitimate questions was basically like, don't come. Like, if you don't want to come, if you don't like it, don't come. But it's like, first of all, you're doing this Monday evening before the conference starts on Wednesday. NABJ doesn't give you refunds. The tickets, now I don't know how much tickets were for this year, but in previous years when I've gone, the ticket has at least been between $300 to $400 if you're doing if you're not a student member. So that's $300 to $400 for your ticket, probably a few $100s for your flight, probably a few $100s for the conference hotel that you're going to stay in, or any other hotel. Mm-hmm. So it's like, to tell people who are rightfully upset that you're inviting Trump, yes, he's a presidential candidate, but we already know that he is not a legitimate candidate. And yes, we are all journalists. We all work in media in some capacity, who, yes, you would want to be able to interview the next presidential elect, possibly, and ask him about his campaign, et cetera, et cetera. What does this mean for Black journalists, or Black people, et cetera. But this is not a regular time for journalism. This is not a regular time for a presidential election. We've already won. Trump's not a new candidate. We know who he is. He was president for 4 years. We saw all the bullshit that he did. 2, he has openly said that if he gets elected, there will be no more elections. So he's just going to stay in there in his fascist regime that he's trying to push forward. And 3, NABJ might be a convention and a group of people who work in the media, but it's not like a news organization.
Sure.
So there's no need for him to come. He did not come for the last 2 times you asked him, for 2020 or 2016. And the only reason he has asked to come this time
is because of Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Right?
If it wasn't for the VP having been chosen by Biden and everybody else rallying behind her to be the next presidential hopeful, he would not have come the same way he didn't come those last 2 years. It's not like, okay, George Bush came, sure. Barack Obama came, sure. Bill Clinton came, sure. But those were during regular elections.
He's essentially trying to shore up the Black vote. Now, I know that you're passionate about this, and because you're a journalist yourself, and this is something that you're passionate about. Let me be devil's advocate a little bit. Would this not be an opportunity to sort of hold Trump's feet to the fire when it comes to like these Black issues? Like I saw clips of the interview itself, which started off
terrible. He was the moment Rachel Scott asked him very legitimate questions about how he's interacted with Black press, how he's been rude to Black journalists, how he's just in general been who he has been. He was calling her rude, disgusting, was basically calling NABJ
Cheap.
broken, poor, and ghetto.
He called out CPT time.
They started
CPT.
So they I think, I don't know if it was between 30 minutes or an hour, but it was late because I clicked in on the NABJ live stream that they had for it. It was late, and he tried to say, I would never be late. I have too much respect for you all. No. And just to
which is a lie. So already you're platforming, you're already out the gate just telling lies. He has no respect for anybody, let alone the NABJ. So.
And when he put out, the Trump Vance team put out a press release on their website. And it said,
President Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States of America, will participate in a conversation with journalists at the National Association of Black Journalists Annual Convention and Career Fair on Wednesday, July 31st, 2024 at 12 p.m. CST. President Trump will engage in a Q&A with political journalists before an audience of registered convention attendees that will concentrate on the most pressing issues facing the Black community.
And he goes on to say the event will be moderated by Rachel Scott, senior congressional correspondent for ABC News, Harris Faulkner, anchor of the Faulkner Focus and co-host of Outnumbered on Fox News, and Katia Goba, politics reporter at Semaphore. President Trump accomplished more for Black Americans than any other president in recent history by implementing America First policies on the economy, immigration, energy, law and order, and foreign policy. Historic rates of Black voters now support President Trump, and the reason is simple. Black voters know that President Trump is the only presidential candidate who can deliver results on day one because he already has, including landmark unemployment rates for Black Americans, increased median income for Black households, historic permanent funding for HBCUs, comprehensive bipartisan criminal justice reform, and nearly $50 billion in funds to revitalize opportunity zones, which
absolutely not true. All this bullshit is not true. Fucking Bezos's ex-wife gave more to historical Black colleges than your ass did. So
and also he would have been one of the reasons why we weren't getting funding. If it wasn't for remember that time when during his presidency when 15 presidents of HBCUs came, and the only reason they came to the White House was because they were trying to secure the funding because he wouldn't have done it if he wasn't able to get the photo op.
Sure.
And so the thing about it is, out of those 3 journalists, Harris Faulkner, she has pictures with her at Trump's home. She has been openly pro-Trump, even though she's a journalist.
Is that this one right here?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And even when he came onto the floor and after he disrespected Rachel, he was like, "Oh, I want to, Harris, I like her." Da 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 da. It was, to me, you can't have Trump coming anywhere because he's not going to do anything besides what he always does, which is lie. He said that he was the best Black president, best president for Black people since Abraham Lincoln. He said that,
he said that she probably works for ABC, which is a fake news outlet.
He
did say that.
Yeah, no, he did.
Okay, I thought you seemed exacerbated.
No, I'm exacerbated because this was so stupid. It was so stupid, and it really put a shadow over what should be a time for Black media professionals to relax, unwind, enjoy themselves, enjoy the community that they are building, learn, meet new people. Like one of my best friends, Amity, I met her in 2012 because I was rooming with one of my friends. We were doing the NABJ projects together. She was doing broadcast, I was doing print, and Amity was friends with her, and we are still literally a decade plus later, still friends. There's so many people that I've met from there who I legitimately, care for and still and close with. And the fact that they would allow this man to come, they didn't have any they were doing fact checking. PolitiFact and the New York Times were fact checking as it went, but it wasn't any fact checking on the monitors, which one of the co-chairs, Karen Otifi, I believe is her last name. She actually stepped down. Karen Atifa She was one of the co-chairs for this year's convention. She stepped down because she said she wasn't even mentioned or told that this was happening, and she was being very openly against what was going on, and it was just a shit show. And that night that this was announced, I actually was in a Twitter Spaces with several Black journalists, people, media professionals, those in Chicago, and they were really upset because, one, if you don't know, Chicago has been very, very vehemently anti-Trump. They have kicked him out several times. He knows that he can't just come into Chicago with his shenanigans, and he used NABJ, and they allow themselves to be used to allow this man to come into this place that they know he's not wanted. And one of the Northwestern Northwestern alum who started the co-founder of The Tribe, which is a new online newspaper that just discusses Black news in Chicago. They were really upset because it's like, you bringing Trump here, not only does that mean he's going to come, that means maggots are going to come. Mm-hmm. That means there's going to be protesters on both sides. Mm-hmm. It could potentially not be a safe environment. There was literally just an assassination, quote unquote, attempt on his life. So now you're creating a situation where there's no more police in the space, Secret Service, all these other things. And then the thing about it was, he didn't even stay the whole time. He was there for 37 minutes. He was supposed to be there for an hour. The moment I think Katia tried to ask about Project 25, it was all of a sudden, oh, the Trump team wants him to go. He was talking about one of the most ridiculous moments was when that got a lot of like media fodder, was Trump said that Kamala Harris, all of a sudden she made a turn, she became a Black person. I didn't know she was Black until a number of years ago.
Yeah, because she apparently she was apparently she was just Indian the all the time that he knew her, and all of a sudden now she's Black. Well,
Maurice, I'm curious question. When did you turn Black?
Well, I started out as Indian, right? Like when and everybody knows this. Like when you turn 13, it's called a Black Señora, and you get on your prettiest outfit, and you just like have it's becoming you're becoming a Black. Yeah. I
would say I initially was Irish.
Yeah.
My mother's last name is we're Irish people.
Yes.
And then I want to say it was when I got to Howard that I became Black.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I got there. I went to Soul Food Thursdays.
Yes, that's what it was.
I had some fried okra, catfish, I had some chicken and collard greens, and I was like, "Whoop, here I am."
Because before that, and essentially, like for everybody who's ever became Black, essentially there is a clarion call moment where Back That Ass Up by Juvenile plays, and all of a sudden, like, you just instinctively know what to do, and that is the moment that you become Black.
I love that
you hug a wall, or you find some.
Yeah, if you have not been at a house party,
oh my goodness,
that had white walls that when you left there were blue marks.
They were blue marks.
You have not turned Black yet, and I need you to go and rectify it.
Oh my God, we don't have enough time to get into this though.
It was just, honestly, it was stupid. It was unnecessary, and it really just put a damper on what should have been a really, just fun moment. They canceled all the panels that were supposed to be on Wednesday, or people pulled out. Raquel Willis pulled out. Earl Graves' son pulled out. George Johnson pulled out of theirs because they were just like, this is bullshit, and we're not having it. And I think that, Mercury is retrograde right now. So Mercury, when it goes retrograde,
what would that have to do with this?
Because it's technology. A time when it's not just technology, communications, just overall shenanigans. And during Mercury retrograde, during any retrograde, it's time for you to reassess, rethink, redo. And this is going to give folks an ability to all the things when it comes to NABJ, because they need to re-vote and get the people on the board, get them out. And I want to know, like, follow the money, because who was paid to get this man in there? I don't believe that he just showed up. Someone got a check, because that's the only thing that would make sense to me. Because the president of NABJ, I think his name is Lee Thompson, he was like, we have to have potential candidates come. He's not a potential candidate. Nope, we do not need to be creating a situation where people think it's okay to vote for this man.
I will say, in a devil's advocate sort of thing, we're like, if the end goal of bringing Trump on was to get exposure, like, I mean, we're talking about it, and more people now know about the NABJ than before. It's for negative reasons, but
all press is not good press. And the thing about it is, people,
you would think a journalist would know that.
Like, the thing is, so like the white does it matter what Trump could have came out there and said? That's terrible and stupid and all the things that he is. The people who are going to vote for him are going to vote for him, especially because he's being rude to Black women. Now, Rachel Scott is getting death threats because of this. Like, you Black women are not to be put in front of a freaking firing squad for your views.
Wait, is she getting death threats from MAGA people or from
MAGA
journalist people?
No, from MAGA people.
Okay.
People are giving her death threats because Trump didn't like her and was calling her rude and disgusting. Like, Black women should not be in the line of fire for bullshit and for views. Because what are y'all doing to protect them? And also, the one thing that also was weird is that NABJ, usually panelists are not people who are not NABJ members. And Rachel said that she is not an NABJ member. So what was the point? It wasn't even a Q&A where everybody could ask him whatever questions he wanted. It was vetted. This was not a regular presser where everyone's going to be asking him questions he's going to have to answer. No. And he delayed. It was speculated that he was delaying because like an insider who was at NABJ was saying that they were delayed because he didn't want them to do in real time fact checking, because of course. But it was just a shit show, and it was unfortunate.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But what was not unfortunate was Vice President Kamala Harris's vice presidential pick.
Yes, and drumroll please, it is Tim Walz.
Don't forget to choose the bell. Yes, Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota.
Did you like my job?
I did. So the thing about, for one, Walz, I want you to know that forever, from now until forever, you got to have a T in your name. It's going to be Walz. Like, no Black person's calling you Walz. It's going to be Walz, because it looks like there should be a T there. Why is there no T?
I'm just now realizing I should have. Sorry.
I saw it on, people were like, because of course, Black people, we don't call anything the right name.
Yeah.
Ogona called House of Dragons Queen of the Dragons yesterday because he wanted to watch it. So we forget. And we just call you whatever we're going to call you. Yeah. And that just means we like you.
I've been calling it House of Dragons, even though it's House of the Dragon.
Yeah, we're going to call you it because we like you. Yeah. And now you're part of the community. We like you. I
just realized I should have did Chris Jericho's song. Break the walls down. Hold on, let me see.
Well, I hope that he waltzes right into the White House. Now, she had a few different people. I think there was Mark Kelly, Josh Shapiro, who were other running mates. I'm glad she didn't pick Shapiro, because I found out that, one, he was involved in a cover-up for sexual harassment. He might have been involved in a murder cover-up, or like he helped get someone off that he knew that was involved in murder. And also, he was an IDF soldier. And that is not something that we need, because I'm not voting for anybody in the IDF, honestly. But Walz, like, the way that he got into my atmosphere was a few weeks ago or a week or so ago. There was a video of him talking about Trump and Vance and all that. And he said, we're not afraid of weird people. We're a little creeped out, but we're not afraid. Which is like the first time that you've heard.
Is that this video right here?
Yes, you can play that.
But these guys are just weird. That's who they are. So it isn't much else. Don't give them the power. Look, are they a threat to democracy? Yes. Are they going to take our rights away? Yes. Are they going to put people's lives in danger? Yes. Are they going to endanger the planet by not dealing with climate change? Yes. They're going to do all that. But don't lift these guys up like they're sometimes the heroes. Everybody in this room knows, I know it as a teacher, a bully has no self-confidence. A bully has no strength. They have nothing. The fascists depend on fear. The fascists depend on us going back. But we're not afraid of weird people. We're a little bit creeped out, but we're not afraid. But look, and then as you heard this, and one day ago, a poll came out and showed Kamala Harris up 10 points and Donald Trump getting his ass handed to him here in Minnesota. So, sorry. But he's here today in the state of hockey to complete his trifecta. He lost in 16, he lost in 20, he loses in 24.
So on this August 6th, Vice President Harris tweeted, I am proud to announce that I've asked Tim Walz to be my running mate. As a governor, a coach, a teacher, and a veteran, he's delivered for working families like his. It's great to have him on the team. Now let's get to work.
I don't know that much about him, but he seems like a normal dude.
Well, the things that I would say
He
that
doesn't fuck couches.
Hey, listen, that's enough for me. But I think that the things about him that people should know is that yes, he was a social studies teacher. He was a command sergeant major for 24 years in the U.S. Army National Guard. Teacher, football coach. He was elected to the House of Representatives by ousting a Republican incumbent in 2006 and was elected governor in 2018 and reelected in 2022. Now, from the things that I've looked up about him so far, I haven't really been able to find anything that was negative. Like the GOP has tried to tout that he had a DUI in 95, but they neglect to talk about, yes, he had that DEI, or DEI.
Yeah, he had that. He had that diversity inclusion.
He had a DUI,
equality inclusion.
But from there, he went on to like get his life together. It was his rock bottom. Also, it was in 95. And I've spoken about this before. I don't think that someone's past should automatically negate who they are now. Like if you've learned from it. For instance, he was governor when George Floyd died. People did not like because he had called the National Guard on folks. They did not like how he responded to George Floyd, the response to George Floyd's death. And he went back. He said that he learned from that. And that at that time, he had clashed with the Minneapolis mayor, Jacob Frey, over how to handle it. But he sent the National Guard to aid the police. But he said that, he would have handled that differently. He's been anti-war. He's done a lot to me. He's definitely a centrist Democrat, but I would say that compared to what we have right now in politics, like he's very middle of the road and actually very considering moderate, in the sense that he's like, mind your business. Like, it doesn't matter whether you would want to live a certain way. Let people do what they want to do. Minnesota has a very interesting demographic when it comes to immigrants. There's a lot of East African folks, Central American, South America. There's like people from all over. And when he talks about them, he's like, oh, these are newcomers. They're neighbors. Very different from how Trump talks about, immigrants. So to me, I think that he definitely could be an asset. I think he's needed to bridge the gap between VP Harris and middle America. Mm-hmm. And he does look like somebody's dad, and the tweets about him have been hilarious. Like, yeah,
he looks like there's always that fucking phrase where for politicians specifically, it's always like, oh, this is somebody that I could have a beer with. Like he looks like he could.
He looks like when you see him in like an Applebee's.
He looks like he could tailgate.
Of course. He's gonna get an Applebee's sampler platter.
Yes.
He's gonna, when he gets the check, he's gonna be like, what do I owe you? If someone's being annoying.
He's ordering the bloomin' onion.
Of course. And I love a fucking bloomin' onion. I love it.
Can I tell you something?
What?
No, I'm not a fan of onion rings.
Okay, onion rings is hard because sometimes they're good and sometimes they're not good. Because if they have that, I don't like when they do a tempura onion ring.
Yeah,
I like it to be lightly coated with it and like a good fry, but I don't like when it's.
I just don't like cooked onions. Like I like raw onions. That's why I like anytime I go to Five Guys, like I always get raw onions because like there's something about cooked onions that just doesn't sit well with my chest.
Wow, maybe some heartburn.
Well,
heartburn from it?
No, not heartburn. I not like anti reflux. What is it called?
Acid reflux.
Acid reflux. Yeah. What did I say? Anti reflux.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of the episode.
Anti reflux.
Yeah, anti reflux.
Well, he is married to Gwen Walz, who's also an educator. They have 2 children. I just think that honestly, we need somebody who's a teacher because folks are dumb. There are so many children that were left behind are now grown up and have no clue about anything. And I think that we need somebody like that. You know, I will say that I do hope one thing that I will say that I hope that he does better with is like Gaza. He has historically in what everything that I've read about people who've lived in Minnesota, who were maybe his students, etc., have talked about him being a very knowledgeable person who talks about like genocide and understanding what that is and how to get it, how to push back against it, etc. I did see a story today that he was supposed to meet with a family from Gaza and he canceled last minute. I hope that's not a dictator of things to come, but to me, like Gaza is a very big deal. And I hope that he pushes back against whatever the narrative is right now, because I do not want to continue seeing blown up children on my timeline. And we just literally sent Biden's, and Harris sent military to the Middle East because Israel assassinated a member of Hamas who was in Iran. And then also they've been bombing Lebanon and all that. We're now sending them we're sending them warships and military aid and da. Like we don't need that. The world doesn't need that. There's enough shit going on. So I do hope he is there to be a middle ground for that situation. But outside of that, there has not been anything that I could see about him that I would say I don't like. It's just, we haven't had a normal presidential campaign or presidential situation in a while. Like Biden and Trump, both super old, and it's not even about being ageist. It's about being like, you're old and you're not capable.
Yeah.
So now that we have these 2 people,
we're talking about faculties.
Yeah. Because you could be 75 and have your faculties. Biden doesn't have them. Trump doesn't have them. We know that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I am happy to see who she picked, a person who seems as if they can take accountability, which is huge in politics, and actually cares about what the average American needs. And so, hopefully this means a good thing for the ticket. I do think Trump is scared. He doesn't want to debate. Vance doesn't want to debate. They're trying to call Walz a defector because he didn't go to Iraq, but he was honorably discharged. Like his on paper, he looks great. So I'm curious. I'm curious to see what happens. Are we ready to move on?
Yeah, we don't have we actually don't have time. But I did want to do this. Damn it. Fucking I set it up. Here we go. There. I just wanted to play that since we were talking about walls. But
How much more time do we have left?
see you there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in the last few moments, let's do the things that made us happy and things that made us mad.
I'm the baby merchant. Cats are up.
You could probably do happy, probably can't do bad.
Well, speak quickly.
Okay. What made me happy this week? Finally, I can't get into the details, but finally getting a major thing at work out of the way. We've been dealing with this thing for like the last month, and it's been rescheduled, and finally, like it's all over. I didn't even have to. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I just sat back and watched it happen. And I took notes and took a better understanding of the situation. But I'm just glad that it's finally over. Like I don't have to deal with it again until maybe I have to deal with it again later. And then also doing this podcast with you and having you back because I have missed you. It's been oh my god, I don't have that draft.
Literally, you say that every time you every time
and I don't have enough time to get the drop. But it's been a week. It's been a week since I've seen you and spent time with you. So it'll be great to catch up.
All right. For me, getting back to New York because it's been a freaking situation and annoying. Wasted a lot of money on Ubers going back and forth. Doing this podcast with you, of course, getting to see my baby and baby B. Well, baby B's still inside, but getting to see my baby Kata and my family and all that.
Y'all don't know the gender, right?
No, we're waiting. It's a surprise.
Okay.
I had
Should be a boy.
I hope it's a girl.
Everybody hopes it's a girl, but it's probably going to be a boy.
I don't know. We'll see.
Because y'all are doing I'm not going to. Oh, so there's not going to even be a gender reveal.
No. Just wait until she pops out.
Okay.
I had a great conversation.
Sometimes you got to pop out and show people.
Yeah, exactly.
Your gender.
Getting to spend time with my sisters. We had lots of great talks and just time. We had a great brunch together.
That reminds me, I got to talk to you about something afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then of course being back here with you, and also I got a very lovely gift from Maurice, and it was just the cherry on top. And I love you. You're so great.
Oh,
you're amazing.
Oh, thanks.
So, yeah, that's it.
Well, or you're welcome, I should say. Why am I saying thanks? If that's everything, then that's everything, right?
All right.
So we will be back with another episode of the Black and Sturdy podcast.
Next week.
Yeah, definitely next week.
Maybe this week as well. We might have this ready for the weekend.
We're gonna have to
yeah, it's fine.
Do something because we're gonna be taking a trip soon.
We are,
and boy, oh boy, how are we going to deal with that? We'll will have to have a conversation about that. But we will be back with more of the Black and Sturdy podcast. Take it easy, keep it sleazy. I'm Mo, aka Kid Licorish,
and I'm Odie.
Bye.
Bye.
If I could get to the video. Here we go. Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snurdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snurdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's thatsod, THATSOD.E. And on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Sturdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.